All right, friends, welcome to our Friday webinar series. My name is Ryan Dohrn, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Love to entertain your questions all throughout our conversation. And today what we're going to be talking about is highly effective habits of digital sales superstars. And a big thanks, so thankful to the magazine manager and the newspaper manager. Thank you so much for sponsoring these webinar series. Those of you that know me well know that I don't do anything for free. And so if it wasn't for the fine folks at Mirabel Technologies, Christy and Andy and Mark, and so many of the fine folks over there, Greg, I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Thanks so much, everybody. So the magazine manager and the newspaper manager, those are CRM tools, customer relationship management tools, that help you and your sales team stay highly organized. It is the CRM that I use on a daily basis. This morning, I was working with a team in Kansas City that used the magazine manager. We incorporated our training this morning all around that CRM platform. But today, we're going to focus in on digital sales habits. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ryan Dohrn. My company is Brainswell Media. I wrote the book called Selling Backwards on Amazon.com, wink, wink. And I developed the 360 ad sales training system. And that system has been taught to over 5,000 salespeople. We're almost to 6,000 in 7 countries. I have a unique opportunity to travel to Australia and to Germany, all over the place. But I also really enjoy all of my clients here in the great United States of America. I do about 50-50 B2B and consumer training. So magazines of all shapes and all sizes, B2B and consumer. Here's what's different about me and what I do. And that is I actually sell media every day. So 50% of the time I come to your office and train your team in your office, or I meet on GoToMeeting, just like we're doing right now. I had the wonderful team, Kathy Bowes and her team from 435 Magazine in Kansas City this morning for 2 hours on GoToMeeting. So that's what I do. Is I train and I also sell media and sell event sponsorships. So that's why my training is different and relevant, because I actually talk the talk and walk the walk. I've had a great opportunity over my career to work for some wonderful companies. Vance Publishing is where my media life started in Lincolnshire, Illinois. And my last publishing post was for a wonderful company in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma called Penwell. And my website, 360adsales.com. After we're done today, if you need more information, head on over there, 360adsales.com. I live just about 7 miles from this place. Anybody know where that's at? Some of you golf fans know. Coming right around the corner here through the wintertime. Yeah, there you go. That's Augusta, Georgia. And that's basically where I live. I live in a little town called Beach Island, South Carolina, right across the Savannah River from beautiful Augusta, Georgia. And there's a lot of famous people from Beach Island, believe it or not. In February, you want to join me down here in Augusta, Georgia, when it's freezing cold in so many places around the country? We're going to have a golf and media sales weekend in February. That would be February 2018 is what it is. February 2018, there'll be a bunch of media salespeople here in Augusta, Georgia, and we're going to be golfing together and learning together. So let me know if you're interested in that. It's a small group. It's a ton of fun. Here's the most famous man from Beach Island, South Carolina. The late, great godfather of soul himself, James Brown, was my neighbor here in Beach Island. Somebody just chatted over. I thought you lived in Oklahoma. We did. We lived in Oklahoma for 3 years, and we moved back to Beach Island, South Carolina. All right, friends, let's get started. Highly effective habits of digital salespeople. Brian Tracy, famous sales trainer, said this so well. Successful people are simply those with successful habits. Do you agree or do you disagree? I agree wholeheartedly. And to that end, we have to figure out what can we do to put together habits that make sense. Now, here's the 3 pieces of an effective habit. Right here in the top, the knowledge. I'm going to share with you what are the 6 or 8 things that media sales professional that are just kick butt, just really, really doing well in the digital space. What are the things that they do that make them highly, highly effective? All right, the second piece, how to do it, the skills. I'm going to give you the skill set. Now, we only have about 45 minutes together today. So obviously, if we were training together or coaching together, we'd spend hours on this topic. Here's the third piece, though. I can't control this down here in the lower right-hand corner. That's your desire. Do you actually want to do this? You know, that's one of the pieces that's very often missed when people are trying to set highly effective habits in place. For example, January 1st, when you decide that you want to lose some weight, or you want to stop smoking, or whatever the circumstance is, what to do? Yeah, you pretty much know what to do. The skills on how to do it, probably know how to do it. But here's the big one, the want to. I mean, do you actually want to make these habits work out for you? So here's the real question. I'm going to give you the advice, but what will it take for you to form a new habit? What's it going to take? Is it going to take an accountability buddy? Is it going to take your calendar? Is it going to take a coach like me? What's it going to take? Is it going to take a reward? Do you need a back rub? I mean, what is it? What is it that you need to form a new habit? I don't know for you. Okay, here's what I can tell you though. Inaction equals no action. Okay. Inaction equals no action. I mean, if you don't do something different, you're trying to redefine insanity. Don't do that. Don't try to redefine insanity. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to get what you always got. Okay. And I think maybe Zig Ziglar or somebody like that said that. So just remember, the success you have in digital sales is not a chance. I hate it when people say, oh, Ryan, you're so lucky. Really? Okay. I'm 130 sky miles into this year. Okay. I'm not lucky. I'm putting in the time, putting in the miles. Okay. It's a choice that you're making. It's a choice you're making, and you're here today. So I think that's an amazing choice that you're making as well. All right. Okay. Let's rock and roll. Let's get into these habits. Habit number 1, if you want to be successful selling digital, you need to break down your digital sales goals. Hope you're taking notes. Break down your digital sales goals. Here's the problem. Let's just say that you have a $100,000 goal, just as an example. What's easier to manage on a daily basis, a $10,000 goal or a $100,000 goal? Well, typically it's a $10,000 goal. Okay, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time is the joke. One bite at a time. So very often when I'm coaching a salesperson in the digital space and I'm seeing they're not meeting their digital goals, it's because they're not breaking those goals down into small, doable chunks. Okay. So let's think about this. You've got your goal at your media company. Maybe you've got a print goal. Maybe you've got a digital goal. If you don't have both, I would separate them. I would break them down. We are simple people, are we not? We're awesome salespeople. We're simple people. Just keep it simple for me. Why are you complicating my life, Mr. Publisher or Mr. or Mrs. Sales Manager? Why are you complicating my life? I hope some of you are laughing right now. Break it down for me. So on the print goal, I'm going to break it down. How many full pages do I need to reach my goal? How many half pages do I need to reach my goal? On the digital side, how many e-newsletter sponsorships do I need to sell? How many banners do I need to sell? How many sponsorships of pages or sections do I need to sell? Here's what I do. Let me roll backwards for a minute. Ready? All right, what I've got is I've got a whiteboard. See this whiteboard I've got here? I've got a whiteboard. It's got all my goals on it. Okay, it sits right here next to my desk. Why do I have this board here sitting and staring at me in the face every day? I do it because I want to know the breakdown of everything I'm doing. Because if I know the breakdown, I know how many e-newsletters I need to sell, and I can attack that. I know how many banners I need to sell, and I can attack that. I know how many sponsorships I need to sell. Now, when I do this, then I can separate my clients. I can separate minnows from cod from whales. In one of my big training classes that I just finished up, one of the things we talked about was, why do we always prospect and deal with so many minnows when we know that minnows are a bigger pain in the rear than a whale client? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we always take the path of least resistance. Why? Because we're simple people. We're simple people, okay? Now, for me, I might live a complex life, but I'm a simple person. And the first thing you need to do is break down those goals. When you break them down, then you're able to take them and slice and dice them to figure out which clients should you sell which product to. Here's a fundamental problem with so many salespeople. You are trying to sell digital products, all of them, to everybody. Stop. Stop. It's called specialization, my friends. Specialization. And that is recognizing that certain digital products are better for certain people. See, a lot of times I feel like so many people selling digital are using the spaghetti theory. Okay, what's the spaghetti theory? You just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. That's how you'll know if it's done. That's not how you do it. If you want to be highly successful in digital sales, you need to align your products, your digital products, with the potential client that is the best fit. Well, Ryan, how do you know without asking them open-ended questions and doing a needs assessment? Come on, use your head. Small clients typically are not going to be able to afford a section sponsorship. So I don't pitch them section sponsorships. Instead, I pitch them the products that are most appropriate for the category that they live within. So I'm breaking down the goals for me, and then I'm breaking down the products as I pitch them to my potential clients. So if you want to be highly successful, digital sales superstars break it down. They break all of this down. They put it on some type of whiteboard. It stares them in the face. And then maybe they go and they manage all the idiosyncrasies of it inside Magazine Manager or Newspaper Manager to keep up with it all. So that's tip number one. You really have got to break this all down. Okay, you've got to break it all down. All right, question that just came in. What if our media company does not separate our goals like this? Great question. Thanks, John. Appreciate the question. I would simply ask Mr. or Mrs. Publisher, Mr. or Mrs. Sales Director, what can we do to create better focus so that I can achieve my goals? This smart cat named Ryan Dohrn said that I should break this apart. You should. Break things down into bite-sized chunks. Now, if they won't do it for you, then you do it yourself. Don't wait, okay? Don't wait for other people to do the work that you most often truly need to do. And I think that's a very, very, very important piece, okay? All right, here we go. Next, digital idea number two, habit number two. Successful digital salespeople use data or use your data to boost sales. Highly successful digital salespeople use data, your data, to boost sales. All right, so let's really, really focus in on that. It's important to understand that small is the new big. All right, the small is going to gobble up the big. I don't care what visual you want to use, but my friends, you have to control the narrative. Make this a goal of yours. You have to control the narrative. If you don't, your advertisers will control the narrative. You have to control the narrative. Now, some of you are sending through funny comments about small is the new big. I appreciate that very much. Get your heads out of the gutter and focus in on the webinar, people. Small is the new big. Here's the problem. We have to control the narrative or our advertisers will. The reason that so many advertisers think social media is cheap is because we did not control the narrative from day one. The narrative should have been, we want to handle your social media. We are a better choice for you. Instead, they took the narrative themselves. The other piece is, the smaller the email list, the more targeted the email list, the higher their return on investment. Mr. or Mrs. Advertiser, to increase your return on investment, you need to target smaller audiences that are better audiences. Question just came through from Mark. Mark, good question. The question is, what if we can't break down our data? It's very important to understand there's a lot of companies that can help you with this. Companies like Knowledge Marketing and other companies like that. It's called progressive data collection. And what progressive data collection is, it allows you to take one email address, begin to market to them with contests, ebooks, downloads, and as they download more information from you, then you collect more data about them. Maybe you then learn their sex, maybe their gender, maybe then you learn their age, maybe you learn more about their geography and things like that. If you want to sell digital, it's important to understand large lists is not where it's at. This again is a problem with the narrative that we let get away from us. The bigger the net, the better the net, right? No, that's not true. Anybody on this webinar watch Deadliest Catch? Okay. How often is it that they're on the crab? How often they put these pots to catch these crab all over the Bering Sea. And they'll go literally days without seeing a crab. And they've covered the bottom of the ocean with these crab pots. It's not about a bigger net anymore. It's about having the right net in the right place to catch the fish. That's why if we control the narrative, we can begin to charge more money for smaller lists, because smaller lists tend to respond better to correct marketing. So it's vividly important. You've got to understand, what can you do with your data to get the data as precise as possible. You will always be the most creative when you've got knowledge. You've got to get intimate with your email database and your digital numbers. You need to know them inside and out. Now, I was recently at a training, and I won't say where it was because I think those folks might be on the line today. I was recently at a training, and I said, please tell me the number of men on your email list. Not one person could tell me. Please tell me anything about your email list. Do you even know how many people are on the list? Yeah, around 4,000. Around? I mean, is it 4,001? Is it 5,000? As it turns out, the list was over 7,000. And they actually did have better data than they even thought, but the salespeople didn't wrap their heads around it. Digital sales superstars are intimate with their email database. They know where these people live. They know who they are, and they know their digital numbers. Do you know your page views? Do you know your unique users? Do you even know the difference between a page view and a page impression, a click-through rate? Do you even know the differences between all this terminology? What is your website's bounce rate? Does it matter? Where are people that are coming to your website? Where are they coming from? Is your digital story worth a crap? Really, is your digital story good? Is it like John Grisham good? Is it like James Patterson good? Like really a good story? Or do you always have to consult your media kit? Digital superstars have amazing digital stories. Now, maybe somebody chatted across, I don't even know where to start. Good question. I would say start with your Google Analytics. That's the first place to start. Then start looking at your email list and figuring out, what are our numbers? When do these people respond? When do we send things? You want to look for unique data sets or research that you can sell. Then you're going to make assumptions about your client. And you're going to see, okay, how can I twist this data to meet their needs? What are the things that I can do to really, really get super, super precise, okay, on that? All right, good question. What if you have limited web traffic? How would you best, let me click on this so I can see it better. How would you best build, let me see here. How would you best build, that presence? Okay, good question. For me, limited data or limited web traffic is good web traffic as long as we know who these people are. So one of the best ways to figure out who these people are is to look and see, what are they looking at? What are they reading online? Do we offer ebooks or downloads so we can collect more data on these people? I work with several websites that have less than 5,000 unique users a month. But because we know so much about those readers and those users, we have a very precise understanding of who they are. We can sell that in large, large quantities. So for me, it's really, really important to understand. You really just need to know who that is, okay? You just really need to know who it is, all right? All right, what if your data production department doesn't share all the information that you need? I'm not going to call this person's name out because maybe you don't want them to know that you're asking this, okay? But I'll call them out for you. That is ridiculous, my friends, ridiculous. You cannot sell what you do not know. So for me, if you are the publisher, you need to have a come to Jesus meeting with your IT folks. If you're a sales rep, you can't expect me to sell what I can't see. Now, it's really difficult. If you don't have any data, it's so difficult to sell that. And if they won't give it to you, I wonder if they realize how their freaking paychecks are funded. Mr. or Mrs. IT manager, your paycheck is funded through sales. I can't sell what I don't know. Am I getting a little passionate about this? I am, because it's so crazy to me. The number of people I mean, the number of people that this question comes up, man, I really, truly cannot get any data from anybody in my office. Holy cow. I mean, you can kill yourself with a popsicle stick. It's not fun. It's like, I mean, it's terrible. That's just literally digital suicide. You've got to have those numbers. Take a breath, Ryan. It makes me crazy. All right, habit number 3. You need to know your competition's digital numbers inside and out. You've got to know it. You've got to know your competitors' digital numbers inside and out. Now, I predict this. Someone's going to send through, how do I get my competitor's media kit? And there it is. Okay. I knew that question was coming. I recently had a client on Wednesday of this week that said we are not able to get our competitors' media kits. I went online and I registered a Gmail account and I requested the media kit. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I didn't steal. I just requested the media kit and boom, they sent me the media kit. So all I did was register a Gmail account and politely asked. Now, sometimes you can go to an advertiser of yours and say, hey, do you have their media kit? I want to make sure that I'm competitive. And so I'll get a copy of the media kit as well. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you all on the webinar today to really understand. If you want to be a digital sales superstar, you've got to know your competition inside and out, not your opinion. Find out, what is it they do right? What do they do wrong? Why are you better than they are? What's your digital D factor? Okay, what is your digital differentiating factor? If I was training your team in your office or on GoToMeeting or whatever, the digital D factor would have 10 components to it. What are the 10 things that we do better than our nearest competitor? It's important for me to share with you. Early on in my media career, I worked for CBS Television, a local affiliate for CBS. Now, CBS for a very long time, because we didn't always have Survivor, okay, and Big Brother, okay. What I'd have to do is, we were in the 3rd position in our market. So a couple of the questions that are coming through, what if our traffic isn't big? What if we're number 3 in our market? I've been there, friends. I've been there. When I worked at CBS, I was always like, thank God for the young and the restless. Because without the young and the restless, I could never have sold an advertisement or commercial during daytime programming, okay? You have to figure, there are things that you do better. Maybe you have users coming by at better times of day. Maybe you have users that are coming in larger quantities at different times of day. Maybe your content is better. There's so many things that you can do that are better or different. You need to come up with, what are your digital D factors? What are your digital differentiating factors? A lot of you are asking, someone just said, what is mine? I don't know. Okay. I would have to spend time with you to figure it out, but I'm not the only person that can help you figure out what is your digital D factor. You know, there's other folks, the Sterling Woods Group, Rob, the Sterling Woods Group is someone that can help you figure out your digital D factor. Eric Schoenfeld, okay, eMedia strategist, can help you figure out what your digital D factor is. There's people out there. Now, you have to pay for their help, but there's people out there that'll help you understand what is the difference between you and your nearest competitor. Superstars know what that is. All right? All right. So habit number 4, you really need to know, okay, know your digital terminology. All right? You really need to know your digital terminology. If you don't know your digital terminology, you're behind. You're very, very behind. And it's something that's very important for all of us to intimately understand. Okay? All right, so let's try you out. Okay, ready for a little bit of a quiz? All right, all these are available for you at the Video Advertising Glossary that's put out by the Interactive Advertising Bureau. Okay, so this is video advertising. Now, you can go to the IAB and get their standard glossary, but here's the link for you to go and check out their digital video glossary, okay? All right, what is cross-screen measurement? What is cross-screen measurement? All right, cross-screen measurement is tracking and measuring video metrics across multiple platforms, okay, multiple platforms. Now, you might say, Ryan, why is this important to me? I don't offer this type of technology. My friends, you need to know, like a doctor needs to know everything. A doctor may not always see a particular type of disease. It doesn't mean they only research when a customer, or a patient rather, comes across their table. All right, you have to think of yourself as a highly trained professional salesperson in the media business, and it's so important. All right, how about an ad pod? Do you know what an ad pod is? Okay, all right, an ad pod. An ad pod is an individual ad pod. Is a group of ads expected to play back to back in one commercial ad break, similar to how consumers experience commercial ad breaks in broadcast technology. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you have to know every single piece in terminology. I'm saying that you want to expand your horizons, my friends, and that is go over to the Interactive Advertising Bureau website. Know everything you need to know about hot buttons, click-through rates, hot spots, multimedia, interstitial ads, pop-in ads, blow-in ads, drop-down ads. If you don't know these things, you cannot be as successful as I know you can be. Digital sales superstars, they know this terminology inside and out. And it's vividly important, okay? Vividly important for you to understand how does that work, okay? All right, somebody asked a couple, let's go through a couple questions here. Good questions, okay? My company won't gate our media kit, okay? Our company won't gate our media kit, okay? What does that mean? All right, so let's talk about that for a second. Gating a media kit means that before someone can download your media kit, they have to give a little bit of information. And I'm actually quite a big fan of this, even though I know that a lot of you with an agency background hate this type of thing. Let's talk about it for a brief moment. The vast majority of my clients do something that I love, and that is they put a very nice little statement right above their media kit download button. And it says, if you get immediate access to our advertising rates and our complete media kit, just tell us who you are. We just want to make sure you're a human or something like that. All you need to ask for is their email address, and you might want to get their first name. If you ask for their phone number, they won't fill it out, or they're going to give you something different. Email address and first name. Well, Ryan, don't we need to know their company name? Typically not, because their email address is going to contain the company name. The reason is because I want to know who's downloading my media kit. But here's the secret. The secret is you have to give them a promise, okay? You have to give them a promise that they are actually going to get the full media kit, okay? All right? All right. So for me, if they won't gate it, I think it's really, really important, all right? All right, so a couple people were asking what was the website for the digital video glossary, and it's right here on the very, very bottom of the screen, okay? All right, let's keep rocking forward. All right. Oh, coffee break time. Good. I was ready for a coffee break. Thank you, magazine manager, the newspaper manager. Appreciate that very, very much for sponsoring this webinar today. We sure appreciate it. If you're looking for a CRM tool, these are the best in the business. So check them out. Get a demo from those folks. Send them an email, would you? And let Andy and let all these folks know, Susan and Christy and Mark, let them all know that we appreciate, you appreciate their support. Okay? All right. Let's keep rolling forward. Number 5, know how to handle digital questions. Okay, number 5, know how to handle digital questions. More importantly than that, know how to handle digital objections, the digital objections that you're going to get. So let's talk through the most common digital objections that I get, okay? People will say, I'm going all digital, maybe with you or without, because print cannot be tracked. I hear this on a very regular basis. I can't track my return on investment. Okay, I just can't track it. This is what I say. Baloney, bull. You can track print. Do you want to do it? I mean, that really is the question. Here's some of the problems that I observe that you as digital sales superstars, okay, you as digital sales superstars need to understand. Number 1, unique website URLs are vividly important. Successful marketers do not do what you see here as an example on the screen. Okay, they do not do this. And I want to point this out to you because so many times this is what we see. Do you see this little / after the .com name? So let's just say as an example that my client is John Deere and their website is johndeere.com. Everybody with me? A lot of times clients will want us to put a / and the name of our magazine after the .com name as a way to track. That does, it works, okay, but it is not highly effective. As a matter of fact, the DMA, the Direct Marketing Association, check their website out, Direct Marketing Association, had several articles on changing from this type of URL to a unique website URL. So let's talk about that. What do I really mean by that? Let me give you an example on your screen. Let's just say that this here in the middle, okay, this is my main website. Okay, and let's say that's ryandohrn.com. What I should do as a successful marketer or as a successful media company, I want to assist, okay, I want to assist my advertiser in developing 1, 2, 3 unique website URLs with GoDaddy, just as an example. So let's go back to John Deere. JohnDeere.com, okay, that is their main website. Okay, that's this website here. Now, what I might also do is help them register the name GoJohnDeere.com, just as an example. And GoJohnDeere.com is what's going to be featured in my print ad. Okay, my print ad in my magazine. Now, we might do JohnDeereInfo.com. And that might be what gets run in number 2, in the second magazine, as an example. Now, there might, for the third example, it might be biggreeninformation.com or something like that. Now, what I see very often is this right here. Okay, I see this all the time where they do a / and some type of, that doesn't work very often. And most people know that they don't need to put it in. All right, now somebody just asked a very good question. Okay, so Rex, thank you. Very, very good question. We all know, Ryan, that people will see an ad in a magazine and then go to Google to search and not remember the unique website. You are correct, sir. It does happen. So here's one of the things that digital ad superstars very rarely do. And to a couple of you sent over, this is really elementary information. And if it's elementary to you, awesome. We're validating your knowledge. But very rarely do I hear advanced digital salespeople ask their clients for a copy of their Google Analytics before and after the print ad or digital ad campaign runs. It's very, very uncommon. What I like to do with my mom and pop advertisers, my agencies, everybody is, can you add me as a read-only admin? Okay, a read-only admin on your Google Analytics. We want to help you monitor before, during, and after this campaign to see if it is effective. Somebody else sent a chat over. Chantel asks, we offer tracking codes. The advertiser won't do it. They won't use them. I think there's 2 sides, Chantel, to this. One is they don't do it because they're just being obstinate, or they don't have time to do it, or the expertise or the people to do it. Now, I can't recommend that you as a media company edit somebody's WordPress website. That can be a little tricky. What you could do, though, if you have advertisers that won't implement your tracking codes, is you potentially could hire a third party, somebody that's a WordPress developer or a Joomla developer or something like that. And you could hire them to do this for your clients, or refer your clients to them and tell them you'll split the cost with them 50-50 or something along those lines. The next thing, if somebody says, I'm only doing digital because print isn't trackable, call tracking numbers. Man, this is old school. Old school. Now, you might say that no one does call tracking anymore. They do, absolutely. Companies like callrail.com for $19 will offer call tracking numbers to place in print advertising and on the web and on banner ads. The next thing I like to do is I always, in the digital space, I always want unique ad content. I will never accept, well, I shouldn't say never. I mean, I try not to accept banner advertising from people that are not doing something unique with me. I just recently was talking to an ophthalmologist about his advertising campaign at a little birthday party that I was at. He said, what can I do to better track my billboards, my print ads, my online ads? And I said, well, I like the one where there's a picture of you. But what I might suggest is some unique content. For example, you might do free glasses in one ad. You might do LASIKs in another ad. You might have a picture of you and your dog or something in another ad. But what you don't want to do is create one ad and run that in all your digital media. He said, this is exactly what we've done. We've done this ad. It's running on Facebook, Google, media websites, billboards, magazines. We wanted to be highly consistent. I said, in the digital space, consistency is important, but the other piece is if you want to track what you're doing, you need unique ad content. So what you're running with me is unique as opposed to what you're running on the radio, so that as your customers are talking about these things, digital superstars know how to separate this stuff out. Ad specific offers. We're only offering this in your magazine or on your magazine website or whatever the circumstance is. Now, somebody has chatted through, we primarily deal with agencies. They hate this. They do. And it's one of the reasons that I hate working with agencies is that they don't do what they most often need to do to prove return on investment for these advertisers. They give us one ad. They run that ad on every single website in the industry, and it makes it really, really tough for us to track. And it makes it really tough for the advertiser to keep track of as well. So it's important, guys, to understand that there are a lot of things that we can do, but a lot of it comes down to, really being on top of your game. Another objection I get, hey, social media is cheap. I can just do it myself. Why do I need to use you? Okay, why do I need to use your media company? Baloney. Social media is not cheap. It used to be cheap. Right? I mean, it used to be cheap. Everybody wasn't always on social media. Okay, now everybody's on social media. Here's what's interesting. Pay-per-click advertising, according to Marketing Profs, pay-per-click advertising has increased in price nearly 300% in the last 3 years. Okay, PPC advertising has gotten really, really expensive. And Marketing Profs has a lot of really good information on this. The other thing I like to share with folks is doing your own social media is only cheaper if your time is worth nothing. Inc.com reported that very successful marketers spend a minimum of 20 hours per week managing their social media campaigns. Do you really have 20 hours per week? Well, I have clients that say to me, well, Ryan, here's the deal, man. Why, I pay someone to do that. Honk, honk. Think about this. If you're paying someone to manage your social media, you're paying them at least, $1,000 a month? $2,000 a month? You are $24,000 into social media before they do anything for you. Okay, before they do anything for you. So it's so important for everybody on this webinar to understand. Social media isn't cheap. That's why you need to pick us. That's why you need to pick our social media. Here's what digital media sales superstars recognize. We as a media company are treated differently by Facebook, Google, etc. We always get better delivery. We always get better rates. Here's the reason why. People come to us as a destination for information. We are a destination for information. You, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, you are not a destination for information. People come to you to buy something. We are a destination for information, or a destination for entertainment, or whatever the circumstance is. Now, let's just say you're a niche audience. Okay, maybe your business, your magazine is all about pumps and plumbers and things like that. It is highly unlikely that some soccer mom is just going to stop by your website. It's highly unlikely. There's other places for he or she to go. That's why people come to us. They seek information. Here's the other piece. It's so important, okay? So important. We are permission-based marketers. Okay, people have given us permission to put advertising on our websites. They've given us permission to put advertising in our magazines. When they pick up our magazine and they look at it, okay, they're not going to go, oh my God, I can't believe there's an ad in here. Okay, they expect advertising to be a part. When they come to our websites, we're a media company. They expect to see advertising. Now, when you go to Facebook, so you pick up your phone, you're scrolling by, experts say at 87 miles an hour, and you happen to come across that infamous video of a cat throwing up or jumping or whatever, something like that. When you see ads, you don't go, oh, wow, okay. this is great. I see more ads. Okay, that's intrusion-based advertising. So when you buy your own advertising on Google, Facebook, social media, Mr. or Mrs. Advertiser, that's called intrusion-based marketing. We are permission-based marketers. People pay to receive our product. They sign up to receive our product. If you're a free distribution magazine, they are picking it up willingly at their own free will. Even if you are a controlled circulation magazine where you send your magazines out, it's okay. People are receiving that because of the job that they have chosen to do, and you're highly targeting them. We're permission-based marketers. It's so important. All right, what if an advertiser said to me, oh, banner ads. Banner ads do not work. They just don't work. Baloney. Baloney. That is not true. Let's take a look at the average click-through rates, okay, on Facebook ads. And even though I don't like Facebook ads, okay, and I think they're intrusion marketing, look at the averages. Let's zoom in on this. Guys, can we zoom in on this a little bit? This is way too small. I need glasses to read this. Zoom in on that for me. Thank you. All right, so let's look at these click-through rates. This is on Facebook, which it's not that I hate Facebook. I just think we can do Facebook better than an advertiser can. All right, in the retail space, those display ads, okay, those banner ads are getting clicked on an average of 1.24% of the time. That's the average click-through rate. On the low end would be like business services, medical at 0.83. I guess that's legal type stuff, 1.61%. Retail, 1.59%. For people to say that people don't click on banner ads anymore, that's not accurate. People do. I just think they should choose our banner ads. And here's the reason why. Number one, we are permission-based marketers. People come to our website expecting to see it. Number two, we know our audience, and we're a highly targeted media. People love us for a particular reason. Number three, we can typically beat the national average as it relates to click-through rates. And number three is you grow your reputation by being affiliated with us. Reputation by affiliation. That is one of the best things that we can do for people. We drive the familiar factor home. That's what our media companies do. We drive the familiar factor home every time they come to our website, every time that they get our e-newsletter, every time they see a banner ad. People are more likely to click on things they're familiar with. That's what we do best. And that's what digital sales superstars, that's what they get. That's what they get. They understand it's not always about the clicks. It's not always about the click-through rate. It's not always about the open rate. It's about us driving the familiar factor. We do it because we can offer you frequency. How about this one? No one opens email anymore. Oh, really? Baloney. That's just not true. I mean, here's the link from Mail Munch so you can really dig into these statistics if you want to. The average open rate across all industries is 21 some percent. Now, that's high. That's high. I'm not seeing that at my clients. Okay, this is a national average. I'm seeing, open rates, 15, 18's great. Average click-through rates for all industry, 3.57. I'm not seeing it quite that high, a little bit lower than that. Industries with the highest average open rates and click-through rates, legal services and nonprofits. Okay, I don't necessarily disagree with that. Continents where emails get the highest open rates, South America and Europe. And I know we've got at least 30, 40 people from Europe that are going to be watching this webinar on archive. So you're in a good situation there. Companies that rate email marketing as the most effective marketing channel, 64% of companies. See, the point I'm trying to get across is those that are digital sales superstars, they vividly understand how to handle these objections. They vividly understand, and that's so unbelievably important. All right, habit number 6. You've got to get creative or you're going to get lost. You've got to get creative. There's a sales professional that I work with. Her name is Mary. And Mary has been selling media for probably 20 years. And she just is really creative. I mean, she's just a highly creative person. When she's talking with a client, she gets really, really creative with what they can do with the digital products that we have available. She just gets really creative, and that's how she earns a ton of business. Now, how does she get creative? Let me be clear. I don't actually know Mary's exact age. She's older than me, so she'd be over the age of 45. But I'm going to guess she's over 50, and I love her very much for being over 50, okay? So you can't say, hey, I'm over the age of 50. I don't know all this digital crap. Okay, can't say that. What you need to understand is that no matter your age, young, old, veteran, rookie, you have to know your products and you have to know your digital numbers if you're going to get creative. The secret to getting creative, and that's where the money's at, is getting creative. The secret to getting creative is massive amounts of knowledge. Okay, massive amounts of knowledge. Whether you go to the Niche Digital Summit, September in Chicago, I'll be speaking there. Come hang out with us. Whether you attend these webinars, whether you buy books, whether you go over to the Interactive Advertising Bureau website, okay, and you go through and you just devour information. Digital sales superstars get creative because they have so much knowledge in their heads. Now, somebody chatted over, Julie chatted over, there's just too much stuff to keep up with. Where do I start? I say that you just start on Monday, Julie. I'm not trying to be crass or be a jerk about it. You start on Monday and you go over to the Interactive Advertising Bureau website and you start reading about terminology. You just start reading and getting your heads around it. I truly believe what separates the good from the great in terms of sales is, do you devour information? I would say to you, as a point of humility, but as just a point, one of the reasons that I am who I am is I devour information. I read non-freaking stop. I read when I'm in a plane. I read when I have time off on the weekends. I read in between meetings. I devour mass quantities of information. I am a consummate student. I love to learn. And it's one of the things some of you need to wrap your head around. Somebody chatted over, sounds good, wish I had time for that. You've got to figure out how to make time for it. You've got to devour information if you're going to be a really, really good digital sales superstar. All right, so let's think about the 6 ideas and let's figure out, okay, what is it that we're going to do as it relates to those 6 ideas to really make this all happen. Let's go back to number 1. We're going to roll through them again real quick. Number 1, breaking down your digital sales goals. If you can't do that, you need to do it. And the reason you need to do it is so that you can create focus. Habit number 2, you need to get precise data out of your systems. If you don't have that precise data, then maybe what you need to do is work with somebody like Knowledge Marketing or somebody like that. I think they're a great group up in Minneapolis, Joe Benson and those guys. You need to get your head around your data. If your IT team won't give it to you, I think that they're just kicking you right in the knee. Number 3, you need to know your competition's digital numbers inside and out. Get a hold of their media kits. Find out what they're doing. Look at their website. If you don't know your enemy, you can't expect to beat your enemy. You have to know what they're doing. Number 4, you need to know digital terminology. Digital sales superstars know this kind of stuff inside and out. And if you think you know all this stuff, I challenge you. I'll get you on a call, and I think I could stump you. Number 5, you need to know how to handle the most common digital objections. So important. You've got to vividly know how to handle all of these digital objections that you're going to get, like print can't be tracked and social media is cheap and banner ads don't work and no one opens emails. Most of that stuff is not true. And then last but not least, you need to get creative. If you don't get creative, truly, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost, okay? All right, as the late, great Billy Mays said many, many times, but wait, there's more. Yeah, there is. And if you want more of this kind of information, you need to go over to 360adsales.com and check it out. There's so much information. Here's a place I want to point you right now. And this is blameless self-promotion, so, just give me a break, okay? All right, what you want to do is you want to go here. See the free sales webinars, that big button on the website? When you click there, it's going to take you to all the webinars that we've ever done. The other place you want to go, though, is here under the Ad Sales blog, okay? On the Ad Sales blog piece, there is an article on print being trackable. A lot of you have asked for that information in the chat box. You can check that out. There's an article on print being trackable, and I think that's a vividly important piece. All right, we got a couple questions here, and so let's just go through these to the best of our ability between now and before the top of the hour. So, okay, all right. Let's see. For the call tracking and unique URLs, what happens when the website or call number contract expires and potential customers call them. Okay. All right. For me, the most important thing for you to understand is that's one of the sellable aspects of it. Okay. One of the sellable aspects for me is that you vividly need to understand, and the client needs to understand, when the ad is over, the call tracking number is only going to live for a certain period of time. And so I can understand why that might be a negative, but for me, I think it's, important. Okay. All right. Somebody asked, can you give me an example of really being creative with digital? Yeah, absolutely. The creative piece for me, from a digital perspective, is understanding not only what a customer wants, but what a customer really, really needs. So in our previous webinar, we talked about Mr. or Mrs. Advertiser. Do you want to be present? Do you want to be competitive? Or do you want to be dominant? Okay. Do you want to be present, competitive, or dominant? If they say, I want to be dominant, okay, here are the 3 main digital things you will need to do with us to be dominant in this space. Okay. So I think that's a really important conversation. And I think it's one of those, Jeff, your comments are funny. One of the things, Jeff, I hope you're using this. Okay. Do you want to be present, competitive, or dominant? Because if you want to be dominant, there's certain things that you're going to need to do. Now, there was a company called Mane and Tail, Straight Arrow Products. And one of the things I had a sales rep that worked for me, and they're an equine shampoo company, but they also have 2 SKUs in Walmart because their shampoo is very, very popular with certain segments of the women's hair business. We didn't really know exactly what we needed to do, so the sales rep at the time decided we were going to come up with a digital video campaign that showcased how this product worked. So we brought into a barn various horses that were dirty and those kind of things. We showed their product in action. That was a video that we promoted through social media, that we promoted through e-newsletters, we promoted online, we promoted it in print. Our goal was to drive views, but then our goal was to drive downloads for samples of the product. So that was just an idea of, being creative. So I think that that's, an important piece that's out there. So I think that's important. Okay. All right. Somebody has asked, is this webinar available afterwards? Yes, it is absolutely available afterwards. And we'll send you a link next, I guess probably tomorrow, to the archives for that. All right. So if you need something from me, here's what you do after the webinar. Reach out to me. I will respond to your emails. Even to you, Jeff, I will respond to you. Ryan at 360adsales.com. Ryan at 360adsales.com. If you've got questions after we're done. The other thing is, I'd really encourage you, please reach out to the magazine manager and the newspaper manager. Please reach out to them and tell them thank you. Thank you for sponsoring these webinars. We try to do these every couple months because this information is important. Keep in mind, you got 6 of 25. 6 of 25 habits because we don't have enough time to go through 25. So here's my piece to you. Whether you're a magazine manager or a newspaper manager customer, doesn't matter. Reach out to me. I'd love to come train your teams. I train teams on GoToWebinar just like this all of the time. Love to do it. It's a passionate job of mine. And I thank you so much for being here today. Hey, don't forget, if ad sales was easy, everybody would be doing it. And they're not. So we're either crazy or we've found a career that will feed our families for a lifetime. All right, friends, happy Friday. Get out there and sell something. Thanks again, magazine manager, newspaper manager. Thanks so much, everybody, for giving me some time on Friday. Hope there's a couple of tidbits there that you're able to put into action. If I can do something for you, if I can train your team, whatever, reach out to me, Ryan at 360adsales.com. Go to the website, 360adsales.com. And for some of you, if you're interested and you want to be a part of golfing in February 2018 here in Augusta, reach out to me on that. We only have room for about 25 people. We're going to have some fun for that. And the magazine manager folks will be there. I guarantee it as well. All right, friends, God bless. Have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. Get out there and sell something so your boss can afford to hire me and bring me in. All right, friends, take care and hope that was helpful. The archive will be sent out to you here in the next 24 hours or less. Take care.